Fasting has been practiced for thousands of years, from Jesus to Buddha and almost every major religion in the world today. But the question is why? Why did these major figures from history practice not eating? And why is this becoming a trend in the health and fitness community today? First, we're going to go into some of the scientifically proven benefits that fasting can give you. Fasting can trigger autophagy, a cellular process where dead cells are removed and recycled to promote cell health. During autophagy, your cells will clean out damaged components and recycle them for energy. It can be induced starting at 14 hours, and its effectiveness increases greatly starting at 24 hours and going beyond that. Fasting can help reduce inflammation, which can be beneficial for your overall health. Lower inflammation levels are associated with a reduced risk of arthritis, heart disease, and even can lower depression. Fasting may enhance heart health by improving blood pressure, triglycerides, and even cholesterol levels. To put this into perspective, heart disease is actually considered the leading cause of death, with about 19 million deaths worldwide. Fasting has the capacity to boost brain function and reduce the likelihood of neurodegenerative disorders. It increases growth hormone secretion, longevity in life, and it can even aid in cancer prevention. Now I'm going to talk about the effects fasting has had on me personally and in my personal life. Every time I fast, and especially during the fasted state, I get way more focused. My mind clears up and I'm able to do work, study, read, do anything like that at a way higher level than I would be if I was eating. It also kind of works like a dopamine detox to where I don't feel the need or the urge to do some of the things that I used to do, like maybe scroll social media or, just watch TV all day or anything like that. It almost gives you like a reason to do something purposeful. It makes you want to do things that you actually want to do, not just things that your brain is wired to do because of dopamine. It also fixed my brain rot, is what I would call it. Just how my brain worked from doing things like that, watching TV, doing these low level pleasures. It fixes that. It gives you back the memory, the clarity, all those kind of things that make your life 10 times better. It also got me shredded in the gym. Every time I would fast and along with doing fasted cardio, which helps a lot too, that just gets you insanely shredded. Like I'm telling you, you're gonna lose body fat like a way you've never done before. What it does is it actually boosts your metabolism when you go into that fasted state, and it causes your body to start using fat and everything else in your system to use as fuel instead of the food that you're continuously eating. Overall, I feel great about it. I mean, growing up, I used to eat breakfast every day. That's because you were supposed to do that. My mom, dad, they would tell me to eat breakfast. It's good for you, the most important meal of the day. But I found out I felt worse like doing that. Like I would eat breakfast and then go to school and just feel tired like an hour after I woke up. And that's not normal. Our bodies are designed to go certain periods without food, and it's actually beneficial for us in all the ways I talked about previously. But overall, I just had a way better sense of health in my body, my mentality, my physicality, everything like that. Way more energy in the gym as well. Like going to the gym, like I would always be filled with constant energy, so I could push through, difficult workouts. Now, what I've been talking about so far is mostly referring to intermittent fasting, or a 16-hour fasted period and then an 8-hour eating window. What I'm going to go into now is multiple day fasting, which I've actually done. I've done a 3-day water fast, no food at all, only water. And I've also done a week long 7-day fast. Same thing, only water, no food at all. The 3-day fast was the first one I did. And I'd also like to say I didn't do any kind of preparation for both of these fasts. It was kind of just a moment's notice thing, but I think that was actually a good way to do it. But it might be a little bit smarter to actually prepare a little bit for the fast. Um, but the 3-day one, it wasn't too difficult. Obviously I got the hunger pangs and that kind of thing, but as a whole, I was able to do what I would do normally. Like I worked my job, I worked out, kind of did my normal day to day activities. Obviously, just feeling a little bit more hungry than before, but I would say by a day and a half, toward the end of the second day, that kind of started to go away. And I definitely got a more clear sense of everything. My mind would clear up. I felt a lot better. Like I could feel my mind and body actually healing itself. Um, just overall felt a really good sense of healing during that time. The 7 day one was a little bit of a different story. That one had ups and downs, like really different feelings associated with that. And I tried to work out and go to the gym like I normally would have, but by like the third, fourth day, I really wasn't able to. Um, Luckily, my job at the time was a desk job, so I was able to sit down all day. I didn't have to be moving around or anything like that because that would have been difficult. And I noticed that in my 3 day one, I had a retail job, so I was walking all day, and that definitely caused an effect on me to where by the third day I was like drained, and even one of my managers said that he's like, "You look like crazy drained," and he was really surprised, when I told him I haven't eaten in the last 3 days. But anyway, going back to the 7 day fast, kind of same thing as the 3 day one. The first couple days, not too crazy. I did start to feel really good by like the third day. I would say that was when like the biggest like feeling of healing and clarity came through. But then it was like by the fourth and especially fifth day, my body just could only think about food. I would be on Instagram or social media, and eventually my whole feed became food videos because that's all I was seeing. And that was definitely like the hardest part, just trying not to think about food, um, because that's all I wanted, by the fourth, fifth day. And that was when I think it was the end of the fifth day, or I could be wrong, the sixth day. I had almost caved in. Like I was really feeling like really, really bad. I actually wound up going to the store and bought a bunch of food, even cooked a whole meal, like this crazy good like steak dinner. And but then I just put it in the fridge, and decided I would eat it after my seventh day. So that was like the closest point I got to breaking. But I think that kind of helped me actually in a weird way was cooking the food, but then not even eating it, just smelling it, kind of seeing the food kind of like did me a little, made me feel a little bit better, about it. I lost 15 pounds, not on purpose, I wasn't overweight or anything or needed to. It was just kind of a side effect of that, which is kind of crazy, 15 pounds in 7 days. So I definitely looked pretty skinny afterwards because I wasn't too heavy to begin with. Um, but yeah, the 15 pounds was kind of crazy. I would say it's definitely a great test for your mental willpower. If you can overcome food, which is such like a basic, drive that we all have as humans. I mean, think about all the things you can do, when it comes to like working and productivity and like doing hard things, to achieve the results you really want, working out, all that kind of stuff. Um, if you can manage like your food and like going that long without eating, I would say, that's a great thing. Um, so yeah, that was my overall experience with it. I definitely want to do longer ones, and also look into doing a religious, fast, like fasting for God specifically. Because the one I did it was more so just health and like doing the experiment. But obviously, I think that comes with a whole different set of benefits and things like that. But as far as the health wise goes, I think yeah, it's definitely a great thing to do. I noticed too once I started eating, like I think I don't know for sure, I never got them tested, but I felt as though my testosterone had jumped up because I felt more, more drive, more aggression to like work out and like things like that after the fact. Because I think it had dropped during the fast, but then after that, that's when I really started to feel those things as well. So overall, I'd say it's a great experience, and like obviously if you have underlying conditions, maybe like look into it deeper. But I think things like that are like a great test of willpower and then also a great almost like reset of your mind and body as a whole.